Hey, what's up, everybody? Rajay back again, and this is going to be the relaunching of a series which I began a while ago. This is going to be a YouTuber spotlight, and tonight I'm actually happy to have on here Brad, Allison, and Jessica. And we're going to be doing a look at his channel, which is, I guess, to just say Brad Allison because that's the name of the channel itself. And this is one that you'll want to check out on YouTube if you haven't checked it out as of yet. And as you can see here on the screen, does a lot of things with home brewing, as well as the beer reviews and even more. So I'm going to go ahead and get back into the video here so I can introduce and talk with them and share some good stuff. So hopefully you guys will stick around and check them out, drop some likes, subscribes, and all that good stuff. And then from there, we will go ahead and get started. And welcome, Brad and Jessica.
How you doing, sir?
Good, hello. Good. Hello. So Jessica's a little under the weather, so we won't grill her too hard on here. But
thank you very much.
As we can see, Jessica has no beer in front of her, so I think she's taking a little bit easy. So
NyQuil is the drink of the night.
Yeah. Watch out now. Betty Ford had a lot of those. So, you know, and getting to know you guys and getting to know your channel, obviously, I watch a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing and kind of want to share some of the information with some of the viewers here. So you guys are actually located in Michigan, correct?
Yep. Yep. So just south of Kalamazoo.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I'm looking for my bottle opener. So there it is. I was going to say, I can't get a beer open. That's not a good thing. So you're just south of Kalamazoo. Yep. Obviously, Michigan, a great beer state, right? So you're enjoying a lot of good craft beers. In fact, what are you drinking there tonight, Brad?
Actually, I'm drinking cider.
Oh, switched it up on me.
With this, with the big brewing boom that I have going on right now, Jessica throws a Christmas cookie party every year, and a lot of the people that come are her friends, and they like cider.
It's women heavy. Just say it. It's women heavy. It's for the moms to get out of the house. It's a Christmas cookie exchange.
Yeah.
Brad, let her say woman heavy. Don't you say that.
So, my homebrew club gets a discount on apple juice, pressed cider every year. So I made 10 gallons of cider, hard cider. And our kid got sick, so Jessica had to cancel the cookie party. So
it was like ferocious vomiting sick, not just like, he's got a cold. So I had to postpone it, and so now he has 10 gallons of cider to drink.
Yeah.
Now let's just make sure the kid didn't get sick on cider. Right? We don't want CPS.
So this, and I'll have videos coming out, but this is a pomegranate berry cider.
Oh, nice.
So,
and Brett himself has been dealing with some flu-like symptoms in the last 24 hours, so he's going to keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it light himself.
That's why I keep a big backlog.
Yeah. Right.
I definitely understand that. How long is your backlog now that you have for videos?
I would say I'm almost at 25 to 30 videos that are stored, haven't been edited, but just the raw data has been stored.
Okay. Well, I don't feel as bad because I think I'm at 33. So I'm glad. No, I'm not the only one with this problem.
Yeah. Just I know the day's coming where I'm going to be down for 2 weeks or something, and I need those videos.
Yeah. It's nice to have a little bit of a backlog. The only thing that I think we run into sometimes is that all these breweries are trying to do these every 2 week new release type things that we see. So it's like by the time you get it out, they're like, wait a minute, you're just having. Well, actually, I had it like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
I haven't had a chance to get the video up on it. So
and going on that, I think some viewers don't understand that too. That if we do a review, it's 3 months ago, and then they're bashing on us. Hey, that's not new. That's old. Well, you don't realize. Yeah, it was 3 months ago when we did that review.
They can tell, though, with us in particular, how tan we are, what color my hair is. There are like different characteristics of when it's summer. We are thinner in the summer. I'm not gonna lie. we both are thinner. We have a nice tan. Brad's beard is not as burly. So I can tell it's obviously this is an old video because it's the middle of just say January, and they're tan and blonde. Like there's no way. So obviously they're not in order either. So, but some of them we try to get out right away.
Yeah,
the big releases.
Yeah, big releases I'll just throw in there. But
yeah, well, I would definitely say for the average person, they probably notice that. Sometimes our fans are drinking a little bit more and they don't pick up.
Right. That's true too. Yeah. That's true too. They may not even care. I can tell, but yeah.
But so you're there. Is that like your home bar where you're there now? And
yeah.
It's like you got a nice little setup and everything. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And
yeah, when we moved in here, and I believe if you go back to our original videos, I don't think we had this top. It was still the plywood.
It could be with Steve and Brad, like their very, very first videos, and maybe you could highlight them at some part on the page, but
I wouldn't do that.
The camera view is different, and yeah, we didn't have a bar for almost 5 years. I think we lived here 6 years without a top because Brad couldn't decide how to finish it. So I put the hammer down and I was like, I'm getting new countertops, and guess what? We're finishing the bar. So pick something now. And then he did it, and then from then you just went crazy down here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking bar there. It's a nice little setup. But yeah, I actually went back and saw earlier. I guess it was the trailer video, and I was going to say, it looks like you first got into the YouTube with the home brewing aspect, and then you build on top of that later into the beer reviews. Correct?
Yeah. Our Steve and I's original goal was to do a lot of home brewing, but when kids start getting involved, plans can change. And I'm the type, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And so we decided, since we couldn't brew all the time, a good filler would be craft beer reviews. And so that's what we started doing. And again, if I'm going to do something, I want to do it to its fullest. So I wanted to push it, every day. I either wanted a homebrew video or a craft beer video, and
go big or go home.
Yeah. So
I think in one of your videos you mentioned you were actually doing gaming for a bit. I actually game for a little bit here on the PS4 as well, but it was really taken away from you doing the beer stuff. So you kind of put the gaming channel down and kind of focus on the beer one.
Yeah, Jessica wasn't too happy about me starting another channel. But
I know
it's a full-time job and a full-time life and children and me.
Hey, Brad, I know that fight too, my friend. I know that. And I didn't even want a channel originally. My wife put me up to it, and she's like, "You're spending too much time." I'm like, you had me do this.
This was not my idea.
Yeah,
none of it was.
I actually want to do something like you, where you have played games on your channel before. But my biggest thing was I didn't want like underage kids or something, watching that, then having their parents or something see, here's how to make beer, something like that pop up. So I did create a new channel and started putting it under there. But yeah, again, go big or go home. I couldn't get that stuff out every day and keep up on all the videos. So I still have it, and hopefully someday I'll do something with it. But
something's got to give for a minute.
Looking over like.
Well, because I'm trying to figure out how he's supposed to, because he is a full-time coach. He's coaching the kids. And now he's involved with both of the kids in basketball, and again, full-time job, and trying to keep the dishes clean and all the things he's supposed to be doing.
Well, Brad is probably like me, thinking, well, it's not really like it's work. I mean, I can do this all kind. I mean, I'll be in here sometimes at 1 or 2 in the morning, and my wife's like, "You need to go to bed. You got to get up at 6." I'm like,
yes,
oh, yeah, I'll get to bed here in a little bit.
Yeah, that's him. What time did you go to bed? Oh, I don't know. It was like 12:30 or something. Well, you have to get up and go to work the next day.
Yep.
I just take a nap at work.
He enjoys it, and I try to not interfere with it too much, but he does. He needs to set some boundaries. He doesn't believe that. He'll just nod his head, but he does.
Well, I think you bring up valid points. You have to have a balance in there at some point. So yeah, you can kind of get really blown away and caught up into this when you're doing these type of things, not even realizing it. It's like, when I first started gaming years and years ago, you'll be sitting there in a new game. Next thing you know, the sun's coming up. I mean, you can really get trapped into a lot of this stuff. And, so we try to set a balance and boundaries, and I try to schedule stuff out on my end. I bet Brad's probably doing the same stuff, trying to plan it out ahead of time. But but it's fun. It's a great hobby. It's kind of hard to turn it away sometimes.
Great hobby.
It's a great hobby. So I found that Brad's hobby is drinking new beer. So then we can travel. It's a great hobby. That's a great hobby. It's taking you to new breweries.
That is a great hobby. I mean,
it's a great hobby. Brad's been to more breweries than I think he realized he could go to.
Yeah.
Because I'll drive him there. Because that's what I do.
Well, I mean, when you get involved in this, it's like when you plan trips. I mean, at least, when I plan trips, I look to see what breweries might be where we're going to locate it. Brad, I don't know if you do the same thing, but you want to know what's kind of around you,
Yeah. We see what's around the breweries we're going to. We kind of do the opposite.
And then the next thing, once you find them, you say, well, what's the walking distance from the hotel to the brewery?
Exactly. We kind of did that at Traverse City when we took the kids to Great Wolf Lodge. We're like, okay, the radius of breweries, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
It worked out great, except for when we went to Punta Cana. It did not work out so well for Brad and his craft beer. Well, because they don't have
Heineken and Coors.
So that didn't work out that time.
Yeah, we went to Dominican Republic a few years ago, and they didn't have a lot of craft beer, had a lot of liquor. I mean, so it was all inclusive. So I said, we'll just switch it up for the week.
That's exactly what you did too.
Bloody Marys all day, all night.
And when they mean all inclusive, they mean all inclusive. So. But in talking about like some of let's go back to the one thing you mentioned, like about the gaming and the channel. So one thing that I've always been curious about is how some of the other beer tubers treat their channel. Do you put like a mature, I don't think we can really put a mature rating on our channel, but it's like that over 13 or something, or do you kind of just not mess with that? And if YouTube were to come back and ask you, then you would change it up or so?
Yeah. I leave everything as it is defaulted. Even the category most of the time, I just put it up there. I figure if YouTube doesn't want it after over 1,000 videos, they should have caught it or told me about it.
Right.
So I maybe I should be putting something at the beginning about you should be over 21 to view this or whatever. But yeah, as of now, I just let it go.
Okay. Well, you've actually had some really good success on your channel. I think last I looked, it was just over 1,800 subscribers you have there. Is there anything you would share, like for your biggest success thing that you found, things that have helped you out there to grow?
I think the majority of mine is the homebrew and the meads over the craft beer stuff. I do, if I was really in this for the money and to grow the channel, I would just do homebrew. Mm-hmm. But I'm not in it just for the money. I do it because I like it.
Right.
And I think it's almost impossible, I would say, to stick with just one thing you're really going to have to think outside the box and do something different, because there are a lot of beer tubers out there, and I think most of them deserve a lot more subs than they get. But I think the let's say viewers are lower than a lot of the other categories. And I think to really grow your channel, you're gonna have to do something completely outside the box or incorporate something else into craft beers.
Right.
Because I've talked to people, some people outside of YouTube that say, hey, you get good reviews or good views on home brewing and cider making and meads. Why don't you just do that? And it's because it doesn't matter to me. Right. You know, if one person benefits from one craft beer review, that's fine. So I would say do what you want, make it your passion, and just keep doing it and think outside the box for regular reviews if you're going to be a craft brewer.
Yeah.
Reviewer.
Yeah, I think you got to be able to definitely diversify some within the channel. And I've had a few guys talk about how they were trying to do something to maybe make it into a business. And it's a niche play, as we know. I mean, it's just a fun thing that we do, but it's a niche play. You're not going to make a ton of things from, doing these videos and these uploads. You do it for fun. You do it because you want to share experience. You want to learn some things. You're just having a good time. And I tell some people occasionally, a company will say, well, try this or try that product. They'll send you a beer. They'll send you some type of thing to try out. And you can say, well, it's kind of like money because you're not going out and buy a new beer or whatever. But at the same point, I just saw Beer by the Numbers. I don't know if you follow Ryan on that channel when he did the cost of doing. We spent a lot of money on beer.
Unfortunately, I did.
Yeah. And as you see mine, and occasionally I get the Rod J deals, but even without the Rod J deals, I spend a lot of money on buying beer. I mean, it's not something you're doing out here to try to make a name off of it. You may curtail it into something else. If you ever went down the line and you were maybe a consultant for something or working with the bar and helping them or something, but as far as just straight YouTube, you're not going to make a ton off of it. But it's more for the fun and the love of it and everything. But here's a question. All right, you ready, Jessica? This is your first off the wall question.
I'm excited.
You're being sent out on a trip overnight in the woods. They say throw 4 beers in your backpack. That's all you get. What 4 beers are you taking?
Yes, I can answer this one. Okay, I would take Cranium Crush for sure.
From Petoskey
Brewing.
Okay, and what kind of beer is Cranium Crush?
It's a raspberry waffle cone ale.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was delicious. Like, delicious. I would take a realignment from Oddside Ales. I'm going to take my raspberry beers because they're tried and true. I would probably take an M43 just for some variants. Okay. I think I have had enough of them now that I think I would leave Soft Parade home.
Yeah.
I think I would. If I had to take a 4th one, oh man. I thought for sure I could answer this a little bit easier. Truthfully, that French toast.
That hasn't been out yet.
I just had a beer.
It's over there.
I'm going to show you the can. Because Brad doesn't take care of the stuff off the...
Wait until you see... It's
Decadent Ales.
Oh, not that. Okay, it's Decadent Ales, French toast. What is it? French toast.
And it's the winter spice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Winter spiced French toast.
Okay, this stuff is amazing.
It's a New England IPA.
But you didn't specify what time of year, so that's why I'm going to go with the 4.
Any time of year, all things equal. So
I think this would be good any time of the year. I'd have this for breakfast and then carry on. So those are my 4. That's not anything exciting that anyone wouldn't be surprised to hear from me.
That's time of day, not time of year.
Just saying. I would take the French toast and I'd have it for dinner, and then I would enjoy the rest of them, hopefully in the sunshine.
Decadent makes some good one. Their double toasted marshmallow was fantastic. I had that last year too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This stuff is good.
We don't get a lot of them, but when we do, if you don't get there right when they come in, they're pretty much gone.
Yeah, they're in demand like crazy.
Yeah, we just started getting their distribution through here, so that was kind of a nice thing to see. But around this area, 450 North is kind of like that now. It's like when people can get their hand on them, they're pretty much going.
Yeah.
I'm on Indiana border as well, so I try to pop over there from time to time. But if you're not there when they drop them off, forget about it. Because
you're done.
Yeah.
I guess other people don't work and they just send a message around Facebook and people show up like taking. I'm gonna run over to the store. I'll be right back. Like,
They do that here. There's one store in particular, and they start listing their beer at 10:30 or 11 in the morning. And if you are not on Facebook paying attention to claim, one of each or a 6-pack, you don't even stand a chance. If you have to work away from your computer for the day, there's zero chance you're going to get anything that they come out with. And I don't know if I necessarily agree that that's fair.
Yeah.
It is, but it isn't. I mean, what if you were running a machine all day long? Do you not get the chance to try a new beer?
But that's
I guess
just
not.
sales.
I know, I'm just saying.
As a store.
I know, you can always go somewhere else, but it's like you need to know people to get good beer.
It's the man getting screwed by the man. What about you, Brad? What four are you throwing in?
Bare Hands New Westy IPA.
Okay.
New England IPA. Hell Hath No Fury by Bell's.
Oh, I haven't heard that one yet. Okay.
Probably Greenstone from Old Nation.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah.
Are we going together? Because I'd share it with him.
And probably barrel aged Expedition Stout.
Really? Oh, fresh squeezed IPA?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm surprised.
I've got 3 light ones. Well, 2 light ones.
Just saying.
2 dark ones.
I figured he'd have Deschutes freshly squeezed IPA. Fresh squeezed IPA, right? All day long. I don't even know my husband. If I'm sending him to the woods for 4 days, I can't even send him with the right things. Here's your backpack. Have a good time. Good luck. He's gonna come back cranky.
Well, those are all pretty good beers out there as well. As far as last year, was there anyone that you would list as your favorite that you tried from not just the 4, but any beer at all that stood up the best for you? I know that's always a tough question. So
I would have to say that I was pleasantly surprised with the Greenstone. Seriously, because at the beginning, if you really wanted to, you could look back at my earlier in the year reviews, and I don't like anything. And now
I've seen it, people. I've seen it.
And now I'm like, give it to me. Like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst? It could be horrible, but I would say Greenstone is the best one that I have had because I didn't think I'd like any of them.
Yeah. I think the one that really surprised me this year was that barrel aged Expedition Stout. That and Side Yard from Bell's were the 2.
Those are really good. Both of them were excellent beer. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've got 2 of the barrel aged Expedition Stouts here, so haven't done them yet, but they're down there along with the Dragon's Milk Banana Coconut, which I haven't done yet. So I want to do that one. Brad's nodding. So what was you thinking of that one?
Very good.
Both of them. Both of them are good.
Yeah, the banana coconut we did, and I only got one of because some of them I'm kind of scared to buy a 4-pack. Mm-hmm. But we did that and really liked it, so I went back and got another 4-pack. I want to. Usually beers with adjuncts like that, I don't think they're going to do very well aged, but I have to try and age them just to see what'll happen to it. But yeah, so I went back and got a 4-pack of that, but the orange one Was it chocolate orange?
Chocolate orange was gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that one at all. Okay.
It tasted like a chocolate orange, but the aroma of it, it was like Goo Gone. James commented Goo Gone, and that stuck with me ever since. It was like Goo Gone. But yeah, there were so many of them that I was surprised I liked, being that I don't like anything. So the Expedition Stout that was really good. Oh, I liked whiskey barrel aged cherry stout from Bell's, and because I can get them from Bell's, I give one to everyone I see. And it's expensive, but my coworkers have gotten it. My mother-in-law got it. I don't know who else. I buy them all the time because that I really like.
Well, I can tell you, Bell's will be pretty pleased with the props you're giving them, and I see the Bell stuff in the background. So
they know that we love them.
They're number one on Justin's list when she walks in the door.
They know me by name, which isn't a bad thing, I don't think. No, we've been fans ever since. I mean, we started drinking beer there, 2000. I'm gonna make sure I'm 21 when I say this. 2003. 2003, I've been a fan. I mean, so we've been drinking that forever. Can't go wrong.
So, have you gone anywhere yet and kind of been recognized from your channel, where you come across people and stuff like that, like the beer festivals or anything that may have come up that you're like, you get caught off guard, like someone recognizes you or something?
So embarrassing.
Jessica does not like it at all.
So embarrassing. When you think when someone recognizes you, you're going to be like, oh, this is awesome. They saw me on the internet and they've been watching me and they like me. I'm just so mortified. And there was, at the Winter Beer Festival 2 years ago, because we didn't go this last year. It was 2017, right? Or was it 2018?
It was 2018 last year.
Well, Brad had conversed with a couple of people that were going to be there, so he knew they were coming. I did not. Sometimes we just leave those details out, and the girlfriend was like, oh, I watch you all the time. Like what do you say? Thanks? How do you react to that? And Brad had a nice conversation. And James, I was happy to meet because I had conversed with him my own self. It's just when people have, I don't care particularly for it. You would think that I'd be friendly, but I am not friendly at all. So, there's that. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know.
The head brewer at, what was that? Cellar Brewing knew who I was. He was at a beer festival, and I stopped and talked to him about bottled on dating. Oh, we get this on the can.
Yeah.
So he did go through, I bet you we talked for a half hour or so just on that, how, their issues with doing it, how to do it the best way and all that. So, but other than that, no. But
I think it's because, we stay local and everyone pretty much knows us, knows that we do this or he does this.
Right.
And we wear our shirts out and about. We do have people that have bought the shirts, and we have our friends that wear them out and about. But I don't think so. Thankfully, no one else. How about that? The girl at Hoffman Street Grocery, she was pretty excited to see me. She's like, I watched you on YouTube. Like, oh my god.
Jessica's
let me buy my beer and I gotta go.
Jessica's like Billy Bob and Bad Santa. I'm on my lunch, lady.
Yeah.
I mean, I was happy. I was happy for her.
Yeah.
She was happy, but I'm just like, it's okay. Let's just move along.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a stun. I'll say more of a stun than a shock type factor, which is like someone you get recognized out there. I've had it at a beer festival before where it's happened, but the weirdest thing is when I had it happen at me in a Subway when I'm like ordering a sandwich and somebody from the back of the line is like, "Hey, what beer are you reviewing next?" And it's like there's other people online. They all look at me. I'm like, it's like I watch you and I follow you on Twitter. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well,
That's fun.
It's like,
Fun happens to you, not me.
but you're always appreciative when people notice you and stuff.
Yeah.
But it happens, but not as much. Just here and there, but when it does happen, it kind of throws you off. So
Yes, very much so.
yeah. And then beer festivals upcoming that you guys are going to be going to. Anything upcoming? You're going to try to shoot some video for where you're going to be at, or kind of just go and drink?
Usually we do the Winter Beer Festival here in Michigan every year. But this year we decided not to go because there's one. Where's that at? There's a summer one.
The Burning Foot one?
That we were gonna look into going, because the winter one last year they had flooding in Grand Rapids, so they had to move it back. So that changed plans. You have to change hotel, reservations and do all that. And plus, it's very hard to film there because most of the time it's 20 below zero and snowing and holding the camera. It's cold.
It's outside. It's outdoor beer festival.
You have to wear Carhartts and gloves and boots.
Yeah.
And
only in Michigan outdoor.
You're drinking it.
Yeah.
Only in Michigan outdoor beer festival in winter.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool though. They have ice carvings and all these fire pits to stay warm. But yeah, to film something like that, you would need a crew just to go film.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we used to go to the Kalamazoo Beer Festival. They didn't have it it's usually at Wings Event Center, and it's in November, and they didn't have it this year.
Right. Then we're going to go down to the South Bend.
The South Bend one's too far of a drive.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half drive. It's on the other side of South Bend. I'd like to go to the Burning Foot one in Muskegon, but Brad doesn't like to be hot. Like, Brad doesn't like the sun. Brad doesn't like the sweat. And I've read a lot of
I'm thinking, how hot is it going to be there? I mean, I know it's burning in the title, but I'm just
wondering. It's like July, August. It'll be probably 90 to 100 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and so, am I going to be in a tent with Brad when it's 90 degrees? No. No. I choose my battles, and I think it'd be fun, but I had read too many comments about the beer warming up too fast. You can't drink it fast enough because it's so hot out. And I thought, well, is that really going to be that fun? But that sells out really quickly, and it may be sold out by now. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So we don't have anything good to share about that.
Well, you guys have the blog also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the website that I do put all my stuff on. I do write blogs with Jessica's editing, and I do upload the podcasts.
Okay.
Also on there.
Yeah. So there's I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, and that's something after the show I'd be more than happy to get to you as well. There is the big beer bloggers conference that comes up later this year. They move it around the country each year. I think this year it might be out in Montana or something, but each year they move it to different spots. But if you're a beer blogger, you actually get discounted stuff for it as well. So it could be a great way to interact with some of the beer community.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's something, afterwards I'd be more than happy to let you know and shoot you an email with the details.
Okay.
Last year I was down in Virginia. I didn't get a chance to go, but there's some pretty unique stuff, some good forums and seminars, and they take you to a couple key breweries. Sam from Dogfish Head was their keynote speaker last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
it'd be a learning vacation.
As far as beer, we'll get a little bit more wrapped up. I know we've been going for a little bit of time, but beer styles. Is there a favorite beer style you guys have, or better yet, who's your favorite and probably least favorite beer style?
Why do I have to go first?
New England IPA, I think, is mine. I think that's going to be most people's nowadays. I love IPAs, but I do not like the malty double IPAs. Okay. So going to a New England, it's almost perfect. Worst beer style? Most of the time, if I go by what I've had recently, I would have to say a cream ale.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And what about you, Jessica?
I'm
Fruit beer is favorite.
I love most fruit beers, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the New England craze, I still pick a fruit beer every time. I still say a stout is the worst.
See, I was trying to say at least you guys keep saying the words.
Like it's like the worst.
Yeah.
Like I
She doesn't like
do
coffee.
not drink coffee. I don't
Mm.
ever drink coffee. I don't like the smell of coffee. And so to taste it on purpose in a beer, no. No, thank you.
That's all right. So we all got different palates, right? There's so many different styles that we can actually enjoy. So that's what makes it nice about beer. As far as any of your key favorite breweries you always like to check out, anybody pop in mind there?
Bare Hands. Bare Hands Brewery in Indiana.
Granger, Indiana.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is a very, very good brewery. I think it's very underrated for what they're putting out now. Hopefully, when they get their new building and get moved in there and get distribution outside of, Indiana, that a lot more people will try their beers. That we like, I would say another one is Evil Check. They have some good beer. Oddside Ales.
Oddside Ales is my favorite.
all the time.
Oddside Ales is my favorite.
Big Lake.
Big Lake Brewing in Holland. We like our brewing in Holland. We like a lot of them that are local because we can go there. The Mitten, absolutely. I should have said that. That would have been one of my 4. Mango Gold.
Yeah.
From the Mitten. Very, very good beer. I think it's because I have the opportunity to drink it on tap, and then most of the time it's better. But
yeah,
all of them are local to us.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, a lot of times you try to go. I always think you try to go more local, especially when you're in a craft beer stuff. Because it's part of the community. I think that's going to be somewhat of a bigger trend as we head into this year. That with the independent local breweries that are opening up, that people are trying to have that little community brewery in their area if it's available. So.
And we've got one in our town, and we're getting another one.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be 2 in Vicksburg?
So there's going to be 2.
Which I don't think is necessary.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be home at all after work.
Yeah, when's he going to have time to game now, Rod?
Well, you met. It's kind of funny because one thing I've noticed about a lot of the breweries that we have, especially around here, but I've seen in other places, they do have a lot of gaming things there, like board games, which is seems to be common for, I guess, a lot of beer fans to play board games.
Yes.
And then they have trivia nights and stuff, right? And I'm thinking it'd be interesting if they started putting in some Xboxes or PS4s or something like that.
Well, funny you mentioned that. One Well has pinball, like a full wall of pinball games. Then I wouldn't say a brewery, but what would you call it?
They have a trivia night.
It's the new one. There's one called LFG that just opened, and they have Xbox, PlayStation, all consoles, the old school arcade games, and they have everybody's craft beer.
Yeah.
I've been there. But One Well that he's talking about has board games. That's how they started, board games and trivia night. And then, with some arcade games, but then they expanded and it's everything.
Yeah.
And then they have a band and they have a kids area. But a lot of our local breweries do events like that. There's one actually happening tonight in one of the worst breweries I've ever tasted beer from, a beer and donut pairing in Kalamazoo tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It starts with a B.
Yeah.
Okay. And anyway, horrible beer. But anyway, but they
might have good donuts.
I know. See, that's the thing. It's like if you can go for the Sweetwater's donuts,
Yeah.
but a lot of them do have events. And I think that's what keeps them happening too, and fun to go to. And our kids actually like to go to all of them.
Yeah.
They like to play the games. They like to do, whatever. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, are your breweries there more? Because I know some places have had, I guess, issues. Although we can do it here in Cincinnati, and a lot of them are like pet friendly and stuff too. Like, or a lot of them have like things where you can't bring pets in or certain areas or.
Yeah, our one here, they don't serve food, but you can bring in outside food. They do allow dogs and pets in there.
Okay.
So it's open. They've got games and everything like that. So
I've not been there.
Yeah. Well,
Brad has his man meetings there. When they need a break. When the dads need a break, they go up and have a meeting.
Yeah. Everybody to the man cave.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't come home today from basketball, and I was like, "Are you at the bar?" Where did you go? He really still was at the meeting, I think.
Yeah. Well, anything you guys would like to see going forward in 2019 in the beer type community, beer type things? I thought it was great you talked to them. I'm kind of curious what their response was on the whole date thing, because for me that's kind of a pet peeve. Like, I think if you have to have two things on a beer, one would be the ABV, and two would be like a date, either a canned on or a Best Buy, at least to give the person an idea that's buying it. IBU, you probably don't need that as much.
Right.
Obviously, you got to have a government warning, right? So,
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything that you would like to see trending more with beers or with brewers to do going forward this year?
I this is going to sound bad because I'm sure most people want it. I want descriptions of what that beer is going to be off.
Oh, okay.
The beer.
Okay.
Now, again, because I don't look anything up before I do the review.
Right.
I'm guessing most normal people would want to see that stuff.
If I'm spending that much money on a beer, I absolutely want to see what's in that beer. I would highly disagree with that, but you're the reviewer, I'm the purchaser, so that's why we have two different distinct opinions on that.
But would it have to be a full description, Jessica, or could it just be ale made with boysenberry?
See, that would be fine. Yep, ale brewed with juniper berries, coriander, and orange peel. Okay, I'm not buying that because that's going to taste like juniper berries. And then you move along.
Right.
Eccentric ale would be like the eccentric ale from Bell's Eccentric Cafe or Bell's Brewery. It's the same batch, but there are different adjuncts every year. And so this year was
cheese pizza.
It was cheese pizza, so mozzarella, and there was some yeast, right? Crust. Did it say pizza crust?
Yep, tomato.
And tomato paste. So that was almost too much going on. Too much, because then for me, as I'm doing the review, I'm almost looking for that flavor. It's not giving me a fair opportunity to review it. So I understand what you're saying, but as a purchaser, as much money as I have spent on beer in the last 5 years, I want to know what's in them.
Yeah. And especially, there's some beers, if you have a peanut butter allergy or peanut allergy, and there's some peanut butter beers, you'd have to know that. And but as far as some of these full-blown descriptions on what you should enjoy, which some of the descriptions I feel are too long anyway. Sometimes if you guys get Rogue there, you pick up a Rogue bottle, and it's like, really, you typed all this stuff on here that we really don't care about.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the one that you guys had, the yellow snow, it didn't even taste like anything that was listed on there. That's what I didn't understand.
You're not supposed
to. I would say I would like to see a canned on date, a Best Buy date, and the ABV on every can.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those like the kind of necessity type thing, just to give an idea, but it's just surprising when I see other stuff on there. I'm like, how do you not put this on there?
Yeah.
How do you not have this on there? It's such an easy thing. Obviously, the smaller the brewery, the cost that might impact them on doing stuff on a label, of course, which I don't know if you saw more recently. I'm kind of interested what your thoughts are on the whole thing with the government shutdown right now, that now they're closing some of the areas they're saying that are going to impact some of the newer beers being released and some of the labeling. I don't know if you saw any of those articles that are out there.
Yeah, I did see a couple. Usually I try and stay away from most of that just because who knows where it's going. Almost like because we had this big thing with Arcadia Ales that it was being shut down and being sold. And, you know, everybody's writing articles why this could happen and why it couldn't. And just taking the time to get through most of that stuff and have nothing happen. It's like, okay, I just wasted 5 days.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, for the most part, and again, I haven't read everything. From what I've looked at, it's not really going to affect like the smaller breweries.
It's affecting Bell's. Larry Bell has had discussions with the media on that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think if anything, the bigger breweries will be able to take it. I mean, I think everybody's going to lose money.
Yeah.
But
well, I think at this point, just from the stuff that I saw, was more of a delay taking place. And some of the guys were used to delays anyway, just because the way the government works sometimes. But the thing that they ran into is some of the possible newer beer releases, because the new beer labels have to get approved to actually be able to be put on bottles. So it might be backing up a little bit of time there. But as far as if you run a brewery, you know, if you're selling on tap, depending on your state guidelines, you can still go there. And people are talking about, well, you can get growlers or crowlers, whatever we want to get locally, but it may interfere with some of the other stuff. So it'll be interesting just to see
distribution and that stuff.
Yeah.
But like Bell's likes to do a lot of fresh stuff. Like that Side Yard, they bottled or canned that morning and shipped it to the general store, and you could pick it up, you know, whenever the truck got there. Then same thing with Hop Slam this year. They said it's available this day, but we don't know what time the trucks are going to arrive. Where, you know, is that really going to hurt? I guess it depends.
For me, it's going to be better to have slow down so then I don't have to buy so much beer.
I like your thinking, Jessica.
I don't have to buy so much beer right now. Maybe I could have a drier January.
I mean, I've got 130 beers in my beer cellar, so I'm not really hurting to go buy anything.
Well, that's just the thing too. We have plenty to drink.
This
so
down
right now,
under here,
like we're not, and we have the kegged beer and the kegged cider. So for us, you know, I don't think it's going to hurt us to not have new beer right away.
Yeah, and with us too, we also know how to brew beer. So again, we could plan out and brew beer if we wanted to, as long as we can get the ingredients. So that option is also out there. But well, you guys have actually been great. It's been great having you on there, and appreciate you guys coming on. Anything else you want to say here about anything you got upcoming on the channel? Any of the other stuff? Oh, I know I was going to ask you before I do that, actually. So I always get a kick out of when you guys do the rating part. Because then at the end you do the rating, and then sometimes Brad will be like, well, this one was okay, but it really wasn't as great, and I don't know, maybe a 3.75 out of 5. Jessica would be like, wait a second, it's a 3.75 out of 5. How can you give it that score if it wasn't? So, so you guys don't discuss.
No one can understand you, Brad.
But you guys don't discuss
a bit of madness to us. It's like he doesn't want to be mean.
But you don't discuss your ratings ahead of time, so it's kind of like, that's what I like about the spontaneity of it, like, because you'll see Jessica look over and just will start saying something like But on your scale, do you usually, like when you do your ratings, like just for your personal pleasure? I know some people will say, is a person rating for personal, or are they rating for how it fits in the style, or how do you put together in your mind on how you're giving that rating?
Well, usually, I don't know how often we do it because videos aren't back to back, but we rate them how we like them.
Okay.
Because technically, I believe everybody's palate's going to be different in some way. And if you're rating it to what's on that label, all ratings would be a lot lower than what they are.
Right.
Because even with Juicy Tree, that thing is all juniper all the way through, but people are still giving it a 4. When it's juniper, it's got this, it's got that.
But they like juniper, clearly.
But yeah, so I believe almost everybody does rate them to their own liking. So when we first started this, when Steve and I first started this, we said we are not going to rate the beer on if it's a stout versus this. We might take in consideration, okay, if it's a stout, it should be black, it should be thicker, medium to heavy body, but that's it. Then the rest is, would we drink it again? How good is the beer?
And sometimes you disclose that. You know, you say the taste is a 4, but for what it is, it's a 2.5. You've done that, but not very often. You usually say this isn't very good, but I'll give it a 4.
Right. Because
that's the look right there, Jessica.
like what?
But I do think beers are still good, even though I don't like them.
Sure.
So if I can sit there and drink it, it's just like you giving a beer a 4.5 and saying there's nothing wrong with it.
That's true. And then honestly, I never drink it again.
But yeah,
9 times out of 10, that's the last time I ever had it.
If I can drink the whole thing and I'm not, like saying in my head, I have to dump this out, I can't finish it. It has to be above a 3.5. Okay. Because if it's lower, why would I drink it? Why would I spend my time with it? Just go to the next beer.
Yeah.
Never.
So if it's a 3.75, maybe there's some citrus hops in it or something that I like.
I don't know. I feel like I'm more honest. But like I said, I can give it a 4.5. I can give it a 4. I just don't drink them. I have like the same 5 that I drink. I don't drink them after that video, pretty much. That's it. So I think you're nicer than you are, and that would be why I can't filter my face. I can't control my expressions. I, over the last year, have enjoyed watching Brad more as a viewer, because I do watch the videos when I'm with him. When he has special guests, I will say, or versus when he's alone, you can tell the difference in his stature, and like he's just business, and I don't know, I enjoy more. It's not about watching myself, because I don't like watching myself, but I just wonder if people enjoy it too.
Yeah.
More watching with you, because I just feel like I call you out on your antics.
That's fine.
And some people have enjoyed that. A lot of viewers have enjoyed the banter, but this is really what we are like.
Yeah.
Like this, I mean, he's wrong. And I tell him he's wrong.
Well, don't go change it, because you guys got a pretty good entertainment value there.
Well, you're welcome. Glad I could help.
Keep playing out when Brad is off. So. But thanks again for everybody that watched. And once again, I'm going to pull the site up here. So make sure you go out and again, check out Brad and Jessica on Brad's channel here. Go up there and subscribe, and you'll be able to see a ton of the videos they're doing. Also, you'll be able to get up here and see some of the other connections they have for Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff, and show some love. But thank both of you again for actually being on here. Really appreciate it, and hopefully people will check out some more of your stuff, and love to see maybe get you guys back again at some point, or maybe get you on in the hangouts with some of the other beer guys if you want to do that, and where we usually just drink and talk and do some other stuff.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be excellent. Especially, I wouldn't say, especially getting Jessica on, because if you ever watch like the Thursday nights, I have the Beer Flow show with Joe and Todd. Now Todd's wife Shannon is actually joining us a little bit more. So always trying to get more women involved, so because more women are drinking craft beer. But Shannon's like, you should do a show featuring something about women for craft beer. I'm like, not if I don't have a woman host on there. I'm not like, I'm not going to fall into that trap. But
right.
and I said, if you want to come on, we'll do something. Like, oh, I don't want to be in front of the camera. So I'm like, well, someone's going to help come on there. But anytime you guys are welcome back. What were you going to say, Jessica?
I help.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I talk to you all day.
Yeah.
And you know it.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have control over that hang up button.
Right.
Yeah.
Mute.
It's funny, Brad. Todd tells me the same thing. So.
Well, then maybe you ought to just have us both on there and just be like, all right, have at it, girls.
Yeah, that might be a future upcoming episodes, you know. And for those that watch, if you guys want to put comments in there to see that, just let me know and put some comments in there. And then anybody else out there that has a YouTube channel that is watching, if you want to come on here like Brad and Jessica did, just let me know as well in the comments. But that all being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, appreciate both of you for being here. And keep drinking those good craft beers out there, everybody. And remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers.